we're gonna get to it. Today we're gonna definitely jump into. We talked about buyers already, right? It's the reason why I'm condensing these things is because of we want to. I want to mainly focus on what I know is going to be you all's problem. Dan, what up? And that's call structure. People can have all this information. Y'all basically got it right now, right? But you won't take the next steps of just getting on that call. And if you truly put it in your mind, like, hey, I'm solving and helping someone's out. That's truly what gets me on the phone right there, right? Is that I'm here to solve a problem. You literally do that. You may think like, remember the negative mindset. Your negative mindset or that dream board you heard him talking about is like, hey, I'm here to just make some money. So that means that no matter what's going on with their thing, you're not really paying attention to what's really going on. You only have a set price in mind. So you're basically just trying to take. You're trying to rip that equity out from them, right? That's what wholesaling is. I have equity in it, equity inside of that property in order for you to make it a deal. So you got the mindset, I just want to take. But if you come into the mindset of this person is going through a problem and I'm the one that can help them out. The realtor can't because the house is in distress. It may not have that much equity. It may have need to do repairs, and they don't have the money to do the repairs. Therefore, they can't sell this property. So for us as an investor, we can come in and say, hey, this is how I can help you. This is how I can basically solve this problem. You're going through a foreclosure, with divorce, with any type of liens. This is how I can handle that, right? And it's ironic. Like earlier, just right before this call, I basically was gonna pay this off. Like literally was ready to buy this house through the arrears, just paying them. But we was like, yo, through our skill set, what we know is that you got ways of doing loan modifications. You got ways of um, you have ways of doing loan modifications, asking them to pay up arrears. Um, those two things, key things, a lot of times be the top two things when it comes to foreclosures and how to get it stopped. So I utilized the loan mod. They called me, right, because I have authorization. They called me and said, hey, we can do basically a loan mod and we can put all this on the back end and just start paying these payments. So I'm gonna have to basically get an agreement with that seller saying, hey, I'm gonna pay these things as well as with the buyer. I'm gonna be paying these things and everything fault, you have to pay me back, right? I put that in contract. So at that, I'm pretty sure to go good. I got a great rapport with the seller already. And remember, that's the key. That lady will call me sometimes at night, talk about family stuff. We literally like friends at this point, you know? And that comes from bonding and rapport and just really, really listening to what's going on with them. So this essentially will be a free house, everybody. It should be a free house. Once the loan mark goes through, the tenant, I'm about to have them paying it, right? So I'm gonna have the tenant on that agreement too. If things don't go wrong, you get all your money back. So because I'm not wanting to pay it, right? And if they say, okay, I don't have it, of course, okay, you're not the one for this house because you're gonna be a problem later on, which that's not the case. Because once again, the tenant, we got a good rapport too. So I'm gonna sell it to them. So essentially, this would be a free house that increased my net worth over 200,000. A free home coming from helping out a seller, trying to figure out how to help them out, and they don't want the house. They already moved down to a whole nother state. You know what I mean? So this stuff is definitely about problem solving. But if you come with the negative side, you won't hear none of that. It's just about, oh, this ain't gonna work because I need this. She need 14,000 or 13,000. Um, I don't want to pay that. Then you just move on from the lead, not really deep diving into how you can help this person out. So always go back to the idea of problem solving. That's the key. That's the key. So that's my little spiel because it came into that book. Who all have been reading the book? just put a me in the chat. Or not reading is free. It's on YouTube, right? So the thing is free. We put the chat up. Tanisha put the chat in, the link like Newman, I think a couple times already for the book. You can't teach a kid how to ride a bike. Who has took the initiative? I know Manny have, because me and Manny know each other from other groups and communities. So I'm positive he has. Tyrone, Jail. Yeah, Jail, you have to. So we come from another community. Nicola, have you listened to that book? You read a lot, so you probably read it. Let me ask you to unmute. Oh, she might not be on here. Daniel, Dan, have you read the book or listened to it? Oh, yes, dope, nice. It is truly a game changer. If you listen to it and like see how that thing applies. Yo, this is a real story. I'm about to tell y'all. Check this out. Remember, I can listen to something or you give me something and my brain, I like to do it. Like, that's why I be up. You be following me on Facebook. I be doing crazy stuff at night sometimes. I can be dead tired, right? And sometimes I can't go to sleep because I do a lot of ideas come at night. I don't know what that is. At night, and guess what else? I ain't trying to be, I'm not gonna say it, it's signing, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's literally when you are on like the toilet. I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? You just chilling, you peaceful, whatever. So it's the truth though. But you like, yo, and it's the pop, my brain is just keep moving. You know what I mean? So check this out. I was dang, I forgot a good story I was about to tell y'all. My mind got to thinking about the toilet, y'all. It's gonna come back. Oh, about the book, You Can't Teach a Ride Kid. When I started reading that book, you can utilize that in everything. I went to a furniture store, literally. I went to a furniture store, right? And I told my wife we're about to buy this thing, and it was already at a good price. I said, shit, I'm gonna try this little sales tax. So I went to him. I said what I wanted to say in terms of I got the price. Remember, the key is do not say the price first unless you go, if you forced to say it, meaning that they just don't want to relent, go real low, right? But I got them to give me the price first. So I said, I repeated the price. I walked off, right? Just be silent. They call it, what they call it is a term they call it that we use. It's called just silent. Just be silent, what I call it. Just be super silent. Remember, when you talk price, or you initiate a question, what I did, like, hey, what you can go for, whatever, and don't say nothing. Just let them respond. She responded, I still didn't say nothing. I said, okay. And just walked off. I didn't even say okay. I just can't get step like I was thinking. And didn't even respond. I still stayed silent. That lady broke down the price again. And then I still didn't respond. I just walked over to my wife talking like, that thing working. It's literally what I said. I said, that thing worked. You know what I mean? Then I went back. I said, yeah, I think we're making work with it. So literally this stuff worked in everything. I'm telling you, it's everything. Yeah, you're literally, because they salespeople. It's just like when you walk onto a car dealership, you can literally say stuff about, let me see what you got it for, that sheet, right? That's a little nugget I got from someone to do like a ton of cars and stuff. Or you just go in and be like, hey, it's another thing down the road. At this price, you pull it up, they're gonna try to beat that price. Even though it may be miles or whatever, they do not want you off that lot. So that thing, they get money from this, that's their livelihood. So if they rather take something than nothing, that's the mentality that you want to have as a salesperson when you're trying to help out. Not in that, like, you got different books that go real hard and stern on stuff. That ain't really like my style, but that's what them people be thinking. They want to have something locked in hand. So they want you to try to stay on that lot. They start calling you and everything, you know? So you utilize them same tactics when you go and do any type of negotiating with anything. It's fun. I wish my Arab man, my man Ali. But the book title, You Can't Teach a Kid How to Ride a Bike at a Seminar. That's the book we're talking about. And I use that in like certain tactics. If Ali was in here, he would say, why it be tough to talk to like Arabs and Asians? This has nothing to do with nothing racist, but they really like savvy when it comes to negotiating. Like they tough on the phone. You know what I mean? Like really. So he like, yeah, we over there, we bargain everything. Like listening to him talk about it when I brought it up to him, he like, yeah, we bargain. Like how y'all, it's a set price. We don't do that. We literally be bargaining. So I was like, oh, now I kind of get it. Now let me take this call real quick, just real fast. I'm gonna stop this call. And this is a seller. It's a title. I'll tell you about it once I get off. 1 second. Okay, back to it. So yeah, the negotiation, you can definitely do that. Definitely. Super, super. And I'm a wholesale that house. I'm not, I don't know. Still up for grab. I might keep it because it's in a great area. All right. So everybody, y'all can still see me, right? People sending me messages on stuff. So I'm trying to navigate and cut off the notifications. So yesterday, y'all can still see me, right? Can y'all unmute yourself? Let me see. Yes, perfect. Y'all can see me. All right. So you know when you cold calling, you always want to come on and be enthusiastic about it, right? You know, you want to be like, hey, Jill, this Chad was, hey, Jill, how you doing? This Chad, you got a minute? That's normally how I open up every call, right? Because I want to grab their attention, create some media type rapport, because I can kind of listen once they say, yeah, I'm available. I can kind of listen what's going on in the background. I can even hear the tone of their voice. Like when I heard this seller that's signing the contract, pretty confident she's gonna sign it, but she was sick, right? I normally walk them through it if I can. Like sometimes they just truly want to just take it to a lawyer or whatever. But with her, I'm gonna walk her through it. But when she got on the phone, I could tell her voice was kind of slower, and it was like she was sick. So I caught it kind of early. I said, "Hey, you finally got a minute? It sound like you maybe a little down on on the weather." It's like, yeah, she told me what was going on. So I immediately pivoted to when can I call you back and all of that. Didn't force nothing or nothing, right. So y'all want to say like, hey, my partner and I invested in the neighborhood, and notice your property at Main Street. You don't need to kind of, the way I build reports sometimes, I mean, I do both sometimes. Sometimes say 123 Main Street, or sometimes, a lot of times, I always just say the street because I want to sound like I'm from there because I'm in a lot of virtual markets. So I'd be like, hey, my partner and I, we definitely love the neighborhood that you're over on Main Street. We maybe see if you're interested in selling. Or I might say, my partner and I, or me say, hey, my company, we invest in the neighborhood. I don't always, you'll never hear me rarely say me, right? Because I'm representing a company, even though it's like me buying a property, my thing, but I do have a team, I do have a company, right? So I always say me, or I always say we or something like that. It's like, hold on, y'all. This is leads. So sorry. Um, so you always want to be like you represent your company, right? So we say, and a lot of times when they get into it, you still build that rapport up. Say if they say yes, they're interested in the offer, but hey, perfect. Well, hey, a little bit about my company. We love this area over here in Edgewood. We purchased the property off of, you can see a street on Zillow and throw it up in the, like the area. And a lot of times I have done stuff there, excuse me, to be like, we purchase homes in as is condition. And if we come into an agreement, and this is a cold call, right? So you say we come to an agreement, we can typically close within 2 to 4 weeks. Does that sound like something you'd be looking to do? They say yes or no, now you just knock the pillar out, right? You're not one of the 4 pillars of the cold call timeline, right? If they don't, they're gonna tell you when they'd like to close. And you still to knock one pillar out just from that opening line. So you create a rapport and knock the pillar out. So after that, you'd be like, okay, perfect. My job here, once again, bonding rapport. If you listen to this, let me find it right quick. I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna show this Google thing and show you this sales submarine and how you can easily go through it. And how you easily just flow through this chart. That ain't a good one. I'm gonna choose this one. Perfect. All right, now let me let y'all see my screen. I was trying to keep on track of something because I'm gonna have to get out for a second after this. I had a ton of stuff. Oh, George is late. You remember George that was in here? He say he has a closing today. Congratulations to that. That's pretty dope. It's always good when you're getting that check. So George, you may be coming in late. We'll get him to talk about his deal to get, motivation. All right, so I'm gonna show the sales submarine real fast, and we just gonna go through this, shoot through this stuff. And I'm gonna show you comps real fast, and that'll be that. So you can see right here, I called in, I let them know who I am, what do I do, my intentions, right? I'll connect with them real quick about, hey, Jill, how you doing? This is Chad, you got a minute? They say yes. Say, hey, Mama investing in the neighborhood. We love the area that your property is over on Main Street. We seeing if you're interested in selling. They say, yes, perfect. Well, my job here, upfront contract, you just slide on down the contract on the thing, right? Because you're just doing a task of cold calling. So it ain't got to be too deep inside of the actual, long drawn out conversations. But bonding and rapport, you want to be the one that's doing 70% of the talking and they doing 30% of the listening. Now, when it gets to pain though, that's when they doing 80%, 90% talking and you doing 10% talking, right? You want to do more listening than you are talking. This is the opposite. You want to talk more than you just sitting there listening to them because you're trying to create rapport. So upfront contract, like, okay, if they say yes, hey, we typically, my job here is just to get a few questions from you, a few basic questions about the property, things like that, what you actually look to sell. You won't gloss through all four, but you try to throw things out there to get them comfortable, just setting proper expectations. And then it's like, hey, does that sounds okay? They say, yes, perfect. So pain. Hey, so what's got you looking to sell? You get into it. And they tell you, well, I got hospital bills I need to pay up. My daughter about to graduate. I'm trying to get her a gift. It could be anything. It don't have to be nothing. Sometimes you see people just sell stuff to spend it, because people make some bad decisions every day, right? That's why we helping out a ton of people. So they say that, okay, perfect. Well, it seems like you want to have, get some money to give your daughter a nice wedding gift as well as pay off hospital bills. So once you pay off the hospital, remember, you say what you just said, repeat it back. Now you ask another question. So being that you want to pay off the bills and after you have a wedding gift, what are you going to look at to stay? Like, what would you move to? You already got a place in mind, or I'm just trying to set you up for success. I wouldn't want to put you in another bad situation. I do stuff like that to, once again, be a helper, a problem solver, one that's going to connect with them. At the same time, I'm talking about pain. Then they say it again, like, yeah, I got a place I'm trying to move down to. I already seen a little area that I like. I got a house picked out, all the things. Oh, okay, perfect. So it seems like you just want to move, get some money, pay off hospital bills, get your daughter a nice wedding gift, and move down to another house. So you got all the money that you would need in order to put a down payment on that. That's another question. I just validated what they said again twice and asked them another question. So then they were like, either yes or no. Well, now I'm kind of tough on that. I'm hoping that with this house that I sell, that I basically use that money for. Oh, perfect. So we definitely can help you out in that situation. And you can stop right there if you want to, unless you need to keep digging down, always validate what they say, then make a question. At this point, when I want to keep asking validate questions, now I'm gonna validate. I'll say, okay, perfect. We can definitely get you some money in order to move into that nice home that you have picked out, take care of your hospital bills, and get your daughter that wedding gift of that you would love to get her. So tell me a little bit about the property. So now I'm moving over to, I ain't in the budget yet, but I'm digging over, I'm like teetering because I'm like pivoting now, right? So now I'm over that to that port condition, right? Now they even going through the 4 pillars. I just had an upfront contract way up here saying that I need to ask you a few questions, right? So when I say pain, I mean condition of the property now, they are like, hey, yeah, it's just perfect. You know, I just my primary residence, just need a, typical stuff. You got to come paint it. Possibly, just clean it up. But other than that, it's fine. Oh, great. Sounds like a beautiful home. And I love the neighborhood. I'm always complimenting them, right? I love the neighborhood and stuff like so. So hey, with the roof and the HVAC, it sounds like it's been taken care of because those are major repairs, right? Roof, HVAC, bed, bathroom, and bathroom and kitchen. Bathroom and kitchen is what sell a home, right? Ask any of these ladies on your right, and they go in the house, that's the thing that gets them, the open floor fan, the nice kitchen that they like to be in, or just the openness, the beautifulness of their kitchen or the bathroom, right? The bathroom, like bedrooms and stuff like that, is typically kind of the same in not all houses, but you got a master and you got the master bedroom, if that's what you have, master bath, if that's what you have. But what sells a house and the value comes from the kitchen and the bathroom, right? So you want to make sure those things are kind of updated. So you can say stuff like, is it up to 2022 standards? Say, well, now I got like Formica or vinyl tops or something like that. Okay, perfect, because that's good. Because you see, if I had this property I was looking over yesterday, you'll see the area don't call for granite. You don't have to have granite in that area to get that ARV because and we'll get to that, the comps. You'll see that the house that just sold for 195,000 didn't have none of that inside of it, right? It was for Michael, it was vinyl, it was clean, it was a really nice house, right? So you don't need that. So you keep that in mind when you are thinking in terms of repair price. You saying all of this for your notes and for you to lead manage it next. So say perfect. So it sounds like you just need minimum repairs on it. Possibly like what, 15, like 10 to 15,000. Because if it's like a real minor repair, you can do like an easy comp. It's like $8 per square foot. So if $1,000 square foot, what is that? $8,000, right? If it's 1,000 square foot of the house, you just times it $8. That's $8,000. That needs to come in just to touch up, fix a few things. And sometimes it's lower than that. When you get a real number, it's kind of lower than that. But you use that number as your repair idea, right? And you can tell when you way off, like if I say something like, oh, sound like it'd be like 35,000. Oh no, that's too much, right? Because they understand that's not, a real number and it's overkill, right? Because they know about this type of like repairs and stuff like that. So once I get the condition, now I'm going over to the timeline, right? And remember, I said 2 to 4 weeks in the beginning. So that's how you can kill like 2 birds with 1 stone. So hey, it seems like I just need to do the mirror technique, being that I need to do basically little cleanup, just fix a little, knobs and do some paint, clean up the floors a little bit, get you some money to move into that nice home you already had picked out, take care of hospital bills, as well as give your daughter that nice gift. Being that we're going to do all of those things, take care of the house with the money, being that you're going to do all of those things, we'll come in and take care of all the repairs. We'll pay the closing costs that may come with this. May not be too much, but we still have the relist the house with agent fees and as well as like a listing agent and a closing agent. So we wouldn't have you pay none of those fees. We wouldn't discount them, right? I always throw it out there because I don't want to be like, yo, if I'm saying you would have to pay them if you were to list it yourself. But being that I'm gonna pay to buy the property in as is condition, and I'm gonna pay all of those things, I'm not gonna sound like I'm discounting it still. Because if that's the case, why don't they just still do it? You know? So I always say something like, being that I'm gonna pay all fees, all attorney fees, all closing costs, we're gonna come in and repair it. You don't gotta show anyone this property. Nobody's coming in and out of your property. No agents kicking, telling you don't be in your house when you want to be asleep. You always throw the agent out there because you know that too. Like when you show your house, you can't be present. So what's a good number we can be at? And then they'll tell you, right? And if they don't, and remember, don't be the first one to get that price. If they say, well, I don't really know, just give me a little information about it, let me know. So you say, okay, hold on, let me just get into my system. Now you in Zillow. My recommendation is have it up once you talk to them, once you say they sound like they want to sell. You put the address in. What you do is look around. Dang, I can do this live. Hold on, let me find Zillow. I'm gonna just choose an address. Where's Zillow at? Or do I don't have it up. That's why I can't see this stuff. What's all stuff up? Okay, so this is what you would call a price anchor, right? You anchor the price. All right, so I don't know those streets. Hold on, let me do this because then my number pop up again. Y'all ain't gonna be getting no recording for like years. Let me think about address. Something that I have. No, I don't want that address on here either. Oh, any address. I'm trying to find this address in Mooresville. Please be a house. Perfect. It's a house. All right. So check this out. So back to the thing. Sorry about that, guys. I should have had this up. Should have been prepared. So check this out. I'm gonna use this as a real example. Say if this was a comparable, not the subject house. We're gonna use this for two examples, as a subject house and as a comparable. So if you click off, right, we can go down Zillow. I'm just using Zillow. Remember, we're doing the freeway. Of course, you can do this through PropStream, the information I gave you with winningdata.com. Click that on, definitely sign up, and that'll get you on. So they have a comparable right here. I have, well, let me check it. Let me see. So they got more was like high end, y'all. They super bougie down there. So got one right here. Heck, I wish I can think of it. If I have my thing, I can give you this one I'm actually been working on. In there, no, I don't have them up there. So you got this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. Okay. This is good. It's gonna be interesting because this is gonna trip you out for real. So if you see this house, I gotta see who buying it first because it could be a hedge fund. That's another thing because there's nothing around here literally says this house should sell for 599,000. Except right here, right? These houses. This is crazy. You can't go across here because this is a main road. So none of this over here count. Only thing that has a 500 valuation is this, right? This one, and it's pending for 599,000. I wonder if that's even right. Let me put this in PropStream. because Main Street isn't, to me, isn't where you'll pay 600,000 at. It's nice. I mean, it's like nice, but it's like, look at this. Like, I know y'all probably, some of y'all don't know this. It's a couple of y'all know Mooresville, but Main Street is like what it sounds like, the main street. And so it be stuff like this. It's like commercial stuff and all that. Typically, when it's like that, it's often to cul-de-sacs. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna get into appraisal rules in a second, and you'll understand why I said that. So it might be an anomaly. I'm gonna look at it on PropStream real fast. What's this address? 735 Main Street, and I don't even have PropStream open. Oh, I got a cool thing for y'all too, man. Let y'all know at the end of this. Gonna be pretty dope. So I can line it all up. Oh shoot, I forgot they changed my password, y'all. Let me see if Suja on here. Let me see if Suja, is you on here? Let me take this down, y'all. I really want to show y'all because that's a good example. Let me see if Suja on. Suja got my password, y'all. And she ain't on here. So we got to do it without it. Yeah, right, Dan. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Manny. That's why I wanted to go into. If y'all see the chat, Manny and Dan is talking about what I was saying, that it may not be that. It just may be bust on Zillow, and these surrounding properties too low. That's why I like, yo, it don't make sense. It truly don't make sense for it to be that price. Like, how can they even justify it? That's basically my thought process. What makes you got to have a justification of why you selling this property for that high. Trust me, the buyers truly set the price of property. This is a 5-bedroom, 5 house, all right? It's no way. I mean, Mooresville is high, right? Because it got racetracks, it got NASCAR. So it have basically Charlotte trickles down, then it comes to Spacefield. But this house is only like 100 square feet bigger than mine or something like that. My house is not worth 600,000. You know what I mean? It's like 4, something like 4, right? But that's how I don't believe it. And this is not in a cul-de-sac or no type of subdivision. It's just out. And it's brick. So that's the difference. So it's not a good comp. I don't like this house. I'm gonna find another. I'm gonna choose something else. I'm gonna choose something else. This house. Okay, perfect. It's just sold in this year. Don't worry about that. We just gonna ignore all of this, but say this is the house. So what I would do, back to the conversation of the structure. We say, if they say, well, what is it that you offer me, right? I don't know the area. Like, what could you offer me? What could you give me for the property? Being that you know this property is right here, right? You got Zillow is saying zestimate at what is it? I want to make sure this is the right house. I knew that wasn't the right house. That's why I didn't say it. Let me click it again. You'll see the zest. Oh Lord, wow. I don't want that house. I want this house. What house is this? Let me put this in the 715 North Church Street. I'm gonna show you how to get like what I call a dirty comparable. Right? All right. Now they don't want to give us a house. Nice. So let's see if we can find it. No, you can move this stuff around. Oh Lord, I don't know which one it is. It normally has a little red mark on it. So let me see if it'll let me do this. Let me go back. I'm gonna just pick this house. 120 Regal Circle. it's not a good property. That first one it's good because I'm gonna go back to that to show you how to do a quick comparable. Okay, what is property at again? But two things you can do unless this is, for some reason, Zillow sometimes trip with me like this. I don't know why, but you see how it keep changing on this side. Normally you can have a property over here and see some comparables attached to it, but it's tripping on me right now. So let me do it like this first. This is a completely renovated house, so this would technically be a comparable. But you can see Lane Tree Charter. So I already know this is a good area for somebody to be in. For Mooreville, Lane Tree is a good area. It looked like it's near the charter school. And it's showing right beside the property, 300,000 on Regal. Just sold, that thing just sold, literally. What's the date? Sold 2 days ago for 296,000. So let's see why it sold. That's a good one because it sold for that. So let's see, this is it right here. It's a 3-2. No, I'm comping the property. Let me go around for a second. I'm gonna go around this neighborhood because I'm doing two things at once. Sorry about that, guys. So if you're talking to you, you say, hey, I don't really know what I want to sell a property for. You typically can go over and just look at the neighborhood. This is not a lot of information, right? So you say, well, hey, let's look in the neighborhood, see what's selling. You know you can't say 300,000. You definitely don't want to say 170,000, right? But you can look at this one right beside it, right? And it's a 3-2, 1380, and you'll be doing this really quick. I'm just talking to y'all, so I'm gonna show you how I would do it real quick, like in a real situation. Don't even have data. Shoot. You want to know the lot size too, because if it's an acre lot and that comparable got like less than a quarter acre lot, that means that your land value is a little high. So, and they'll know that, like a person who know houses and stuff, they're like, oh no, my house is bigger. I have a bigger lot. They be telling you, know all of that when you're talking to them. It's like, yeah, it's a house sold down the street for 300,000. My lot is way bigger. So they're like, oh, okay, appreciate the information. But you know, you got a tussle on your hands when you hear that. Like, okay, you're gonna have to figure this one out, how to really help her. And what you do with them situations, why won't you list it with a realtor? That's the disqualifying line right there. I got nice realtors for, I tell them all the time, I got a nice realtor I can send to you, really good. He's like, oh, no, I don't really want to deal with them because of this. Okay, so you know you don't want to deal with them. This is the way I have to be able to help you. So you say something low. You say, because at this price, say it sold for 296, right? This is dope because it just sold. So this is like a true comp. If it just sold, say at 275 once you pay 3% agent, 3% buyer's agent, 3% buyers, 3% seller's agent, 1% closing costs. Sometimes you can say 296 times 0.90, because that's 3, 3, and 4. 1 or 2% for closing costs or any miscellaneous fees with the attorney. Then 2% say for anything happen like holding costs while you're waiting for it to sell. Like if you're a fix and flip, is always something comes up. So that brings it down to 266.40, 400. So say it needed 10,000 in repairs, right? That brings it to 256. So a fix and flipper, they're gonna want to make at least 30,000, which is close to 10% on this property, which is a little over 10%. Actually, it's 296. That brings it to 226, right? So check this out. So 296 times 296,000 times 0.90 minus 30,000 that the fix and flipper, the end buyer will want to make, minus 10,000 equals 226, right? Just 10,000 in repairs, 226. That's like a real good number. Then you say, okay, you want to make 15,000. That comes to 211. So you say, okay, if this house right here, our subject house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,666 square foot house. This is a 3.2, 1,386 square foot house. Who all think that's comparable? I'm gonna unmute y'all because I like to talk. Who think that's, you can put it in the chat if y'all want to talk, it's cool. But who think that property, this property, because I can't see y'all when I put this screen up, I can't see the chat. So I'm gonna show this and then I'm gonna show the chat again. Let me see if I can see the chat. Okay, right here. Okay, perfect. So who think this property, this 3-bedroom, 2-bath, is a good comparable for this property, which is our property that we got talking to the seller about? Or do y'all know what comparables is? Not Manny, not Jill, not Lisa, the ones like that, because I know you all do. Nicola, you've never done this before. Let me find your name. Have you unmute. Because I'm gonna show you two things. I'm trying to kill two at one because I have to get off here. I gotta close some stuff. I got some deals to lock in, you all. So, Nicole, unmute yourself for a second. This is gonna be super helpful. It's gonna be super helpful for you right here. So, a comparable to everybody is that this is our subject house, right? This is a subject property. This is the seller we call. Don't pay attention to none of these pictures right now. Don't pay attention to it. Just say these pictures is not renovated. This is the house we call. This is the seller we've been talking to. All this spiel I just gave you, and we at the point of price. I say is that she said, I don't know what would you offer for? Or just say she say, what would you offer for? And not that she don't really know. You can typically go off the area, right? You can jump across here and you can say, I don't even know if this is land or not. Oh, it's a house, but it's not a good house. And I'm gonna tell you that why too. But a comparable sale is, do you know what a comparable is, Nicola?
Like that 3.2, you're matching the square footage, the lot size, seeing if it basically has the same, if the house structure is the same, far as brick to brick or vinyl to vinyl.
Yep, that's perfect. That's exactly right. So remember, if this house looks like it's a 2-story, split level or something, I can't see it. It might be a 2-story or something. Yeah, it might be a split level with a basement. I can't really see all of it. Like you gotta maybe have a little basement here and a little upstairs right here in the little main living area. So that wouldn't be the best comparable that you would use. This say 9 units, so we wouldn't even go there. This one is right beside it though, right? So this house, 1 level, right? It's been fully renovated because we can go into the picture and see, okay, yeah, it's been fully renovated. It sold August of last year for $300,000. Man, somebody may have, okay, let me see why it's sold. So when you go into the pictures, right, this is super important. When you start going into these pictures, you looking at stuff like this. Like somebody added on this, what you call this, like a canopy, like a little, it ain't even closed in of their deck, but they put a, they covered it. They put it like a roof. They put an extension out here, right? So that's a value add. So you look at the yards. Okay, got a nice yard. You're gonna remember even though they don't have data showing how much square foot this yard is, you just look at the picture if it comes down to it. Then you look at the front. They did the same thing here. They put a porch covering. Oh, is that maybe that's the back still, excuse me. That's the backyard we're looking at right there. Don't mind this little swing set. That's just for decoration. It has nothing to do with value. But the front yard, right? It looks like it's spacious. Let me make sure though. Yeah, nice driveway, it's clean. Even this, right? Landscaping is super important, right? If you driving by this house, you don't have big trees covering up the front of it, right? You don't, trees is a value add too, depending on how they position. Because some people like trees, they want to sit under the tree. So that's typically country stuff too, though. But when you see, you can drive by, even if you got realtors, you notice when you have when a realtor show you houses, they be like on the opposite side of the house, because they want, when you come up, they want you driving up and looking at it. They want you to have a clear view of that house. They want you to get because you remember you eat with your eyes. So when you can see something beautiful like that, okay, that's the first thing that's gonna catch you. So you're looking at all of this stuff. That landscaping is, it's ain't the best, but it's great. It's good. So now you go here, you can actually see that, okay, yeah, it's clean, look like clean brick. It's like they got it good. And then when you jump inside of it, you see that I'm put new floors, new paint. They got a ceiling fan. These kind of look like it may be green. I can't tell if it is. It looked like it is. It got backsplash, all white cabinets. White cabinets is typically a higher price point. It's all white, open. It's an open floor plan. Remember I told you about the open? People want to walk into their house and just see through the back, right? They want to see an open kitchen and all of that stuff. Then the bedrooms, remember they ain't with the value add. This is the value add, right? Bathrooms, all of this stuff is updated. It's a truly updated house, right? So double vanity, night, everything in here is upgraded. We don't even need to look no more, except we want to see this part. Let me go back. Switch it. Yeah. So it looks like this has some type of, that's where the wash and dryer go. Okay, yeah. Then you can see the garage. Is that a 2-car? Might be a 2-car. Can't really tell. Look like it though. So yeah. So now you look at those pictures, and now you go back to right here again. You look at this house, the subject house. I'm gonna tell you what I would have offered it though, based off of this picture. I'm just showing y'all. I'm doing two things at once, and I'm gonna come back to the cost structure. Say if this house wasn't renovated, right? If this house was not renovated, right? So you can look, it got the similar floor plan, but the kitchen is different, right? It doesn't have granite. That's vinyl or Formica vinyl, right? The appliances isn't chrome, right? But it is white cabinets. The floors is hardwood, so you don't want to put nothing over there. That matches, because that look like real wood or it's that vinyl plank. I can't tell. They got vinyl plank now that look real good. It's just clamp, right? Basically do that for your rentals because it can stand scratches. That look like hardwood, and I could be wrong, but that look like hardwood. It's not typically those skinny. Like back in the day, they used to have those real thin hardwood. I wish I had Dennis on there. He can definitely accurately tell you that. But say this wasn't like this, right? And even this right here, this floor, according to the other floor, isn't as desirable. Even this home, right? You can see they got this venting system right here. That's the older style, right? That's not the updated like HVAC systems, unless that's, well, typically when you change it out, you take that up. But it does have the fireplace settings. This is like so it's like a lot of stuff going on right here now. That was my tax people. They do all my business stuff. I try to have them come in here. But this is the part I was trying to get at. The backyard, right? And you remember he had a canopy, but this got a deck, right? So it kind of matches, right? It's like it can go for both, right? They had put some money into it and covered it. There is not covered, but they do have an actual deck. This is what I was wanting to see. So this is a good and the yard looks kind of similar, even though I don't know how much of nothing. They look like they both have a nice big yard, and it has an HVAC. It's odd. It must be central air. That's different. It's different. You never see them older ones with still the HVAC thing on it. But I was pretty sure this had to have a HVAC. I was just wondering why it had that old venting thing. It's normally that electric heat. But no, I'm wrong, totally wrong. I did see a house. It was a house like that. It's renovated. It was just old, and they converted it. They took you would take the ductwork and convert it to like a HVAC system, but use the existing outlets. You ain't got to do all the ductwork that way. It's always got some form of output. So cool. This house is it's a good comparable to this house. This is our subject house. It got 1-car garage, got nice landscaping. So, and this look like it got more nice landscaping, right? But that don't be really truly what adds a ton of value, but it do helps with the sale. Okay, cool. So back to this house. So we know this is really our comparable. Why this sold for $290? Why this sold for $296, $4,000 less? Who knows, right? It maybe just the person accepted what they wanted, they liked it, and really wasn't trying to do no bidding on it too bad or nothing, right? But it truly looked like. But this house should have been like an extra 4,000, I think, based off of this little thing. And this is what I want to show you. This house is smaller, right? That's why they went $4,000 less. However, it's only really, this is, hold on, it ain't smaller. This is 16, this is 13. This is bigger, right? But being that this house is like plus or minus 200, you still got the same type of comparable. And you can even say 300, you still close. Because somebody will be like, they hear me say that and they say, oh, that's a little over 200. So should we change something? No, don't get like super granular with it. Like think in terms of, just use like a little, try not to say common sense, but that's the only thing I know to say right now. You know what I mean? But like try to use like, be kind of common sense about it. Like, oh, that ain't nothing, right? So that's why this house is was actually smaller, right? But it was still within the same square footage range, like plus or minus 300. Because if you go to 400, you want to take probably like 5,000 off the price. So if this price, say if this house was like 600 square feet, right? And you seen it sold for less, you're going to figure that out. And I think the reasons why it did is, even though it's that little square foot bigger, is because it still had that older HVAC looking systems inside. This one was more updated. That's literally why the realtors allow it to be listed and go for that price. And they may have bidded on it. Could have been a bidding war. It don't look like it, but we have to look and see the actual transaction through PropStream. And I can't even get inside of that because I don't even have the password. Crazy, I don't have the password to my own stuff. But back to the conversation now. So I would say, hey, she'd say, I don't really know. Give me a good offer price. I say, okay. So it looks like there's a property over here. And even though this ain't even comparable, it sold for 172,000, right? But I will go under that. I would say 160. It looked like it sold for like 160. One property say in your neighborhood for like 160. You go a little under. Maybe be like, oh no, I don't want, that's too low, right? But when they say, oh, that's too low, what does that confirm? That they do have an idea about a purchase price. They always say they don't, but let you throw out something that don't make sense. They went, oh no, that's too low. Well, okay, what makes sense? What's a good number you think we need to be at? It seems like 162 is too low. But remember, we already done comped the property. We thinking we can get 300,000 or somewhere around there because of that comparable, right? So once we do all of that, that same formula I did, 300,000, I'm just say 300,000 times 0.90 minus 10,000 for repairs, minus 30,000 the person anybody want to make, minus 15,000 we'd like to make. That's 215,000 we technically can offer them, right? But so if she say, I want, he or she say, hey, well, how about they say 162 and they, nah, that's too low. So what number will make? I was thinking around like 200,000. Be like, oh shoot, in your mind, like, oh, that's perfect. You know what I mean? And as is condition, you already know you need to be at 215 to make 15,000. You know what I mean? So you say, all right, let's kind of meet in the middle. That seems like that may work. And you still don't go in for the agreement yet, right? You just be like, okay. And this is a cold call, remember? So you don't even got to argue about price right now. unless and only when you start getting deep and you don't want them off the phone, you do this thing where you be like, hey, it seems like you're ready to go right now. Like, yeah, if we can get something agreed on, I can sign right now. And you say that. If they don't say that, make sure you say that. If they saying they can sign right now, get that confirmation. Once you get that confirmation, you say, hey, let me put you on like a brief hold. I'm gonna get my lead manager inside and see if they can come and take over the call. That sounds okay? And get them to confirm, commit, upfront contract. They say yes. All right, perfect. Hold on. Put them on. You get to texting somebody or call. If you do have a lead manager, you call them, get them on the line. And if you don't, you wait a few minutes, you come back on. We say, hey, they're super tied up. However, they passed me some notes about the property. They're saying that maybe where we can be at, and we were thinking somewhere around like, like you say 200,000, we can get around like 197.5. We can look to make a deal, right? And she'd be like, oh, that don't sound too bad. Okay, perfect. So since she said 200,000, and even if she say no, right? You say, okay, since you adamant about that, and you saying you can close and you would like to sign right now, I can get my transaction coordinator to start writing up the paperwork, and we can agree on that $200,000 price. And they say, yeah, it's okay, perfect. So you get them doing it yourself, put them on the brief hold, you start typing up the agreement. You say, hey, what's your good email? And they seem like this making work. So what's a good email? We're gonna send you over DocuSign. They give it to you. You say, are you able to go through the paperwork now? And say, yeah, I got access to my email. So you send it and you keep them on the line while they're going through the paperwork. Or before you send it though, make sure you do this way before I just offered that send that money to. You make sure decision makers, because remember, this is a cold call that turned into you sending a contract. On a regular cold call, you'll be like, hey, I got everything I need, the 200,000 purchase price, what you asking for. They don't sound like they want to just sign immediately today. They can't wait. So you say, hey, when is a good time that I can have my lead manager just call you back to get this contract agreement in? Don't say contract, say getting this agreement in place, and we can get everything squared away so you can get moved, as well as take care of your hospital bills and give you that nice gift to your daughter. You run all of that back again. And then they tell you the set time. You say, perfect. You run, you have some pleasantries, and then you get off the phone. Now, if it's one like I was just describing, and it sounds like they're ready to go, you say immediately, like, hey, is there any decision makers that need to be here? Is there anyone else? Don't even say decision makers, right? Just say, is there anyone else that needs to be on this call that I need to talk to run these numbers by, that possibly have to sign the agreement as well? Then they say, yeah, my husband. Okay, perfect. When is a good time that I can talk to him? Right? Because you don't want to have to repeat everything you just said. You didn't know that they was ready to go, right? You were just doing your cold call, and it just turned into that. So you didn't do nothing wrong. It's just that you don't want to go forward with sending a contract, because that contract a lot of times sit. And what happens when something is sitting, a person getting to thinking, like I do at night, mine just get to running. So it's like, oh shoot, hold on. This may not be, I might can get more, right? Now you done got ghosted by the seller. And if you go look at the YouTube video I put up, I'm talking about that one thing. You can hear me. I think that's the one with the seller that was sick. And I was talking about, hey, when's a good time I can walk you through it? Because I'm gonna walk them through it while I'm on the phone, right? And then sign it and go write the title. It's done. It's nowhere I got rights to the title, right? And I keep in contact, make good rapport. So I won't get in a bind. Like I had this one deal I disposed, and the seller, because someone bought it to me, I closed it up for him, did all of that stuff, got it locked up. But what he done was not that communication, right? And what happens is it makes the person want to now feel, especially when you got bad buyers, like, if your buyers kind of go around, typically wholesalers do that, try to go around your back and get to telling the seller stuff. There's nothing you can do except, and I think North Carolina, they even stopped it. We're trying to figure that out too. You can't find memorandums anymore, which means that you cloud the title. So anything happens to this property, they gotta sell it to you first. It's like a first right of refusal. So it's crazy with what he did. And that's what you want to avoid. You want them to not ghost you. So you want to walk them through it. Once you get that signed, you're good. And you just keep contact with them, make sure they get their seller documents and all of that stuff. And you start, bringing in your end buyer, setting up appointments and stuff for them. And that's after you get the contract. But in terms of this cold call, just set it up. That's all you want to do is what I just said. I hope that wasn't super confusing because I told y'all two things in one. But when it comes to comping the property, let me pull this up. Oh, it's hardwood. Yeah, it did. I figured that. Like back in the day, hardwood, they was like lined up like that. There wasn't, the planks is a little wider. You can kind of see it, but that looked like hardwood for sure. You don't want to change your hardwood. It's worth way more than this stuff they doing today. Like when you see them knobs, you go in the house and you see the knobs and they look like that, what is it, like cubic zirconium? Them, them old knobs you used to have, that door, that's real wood right there. So that ain't that quick stuff they got. I mean, everything is real wood, but that's that good quality stuff back in the day. Even when you go in, like some houses I went in, they still had knotty pine. Knotty pine, is that real smooth, glossed out wood. They got the black dots on it. They call that knotty pine, just uncut and they done stained it and all that, and it's still there. You don't want to change it out. You can make that into something. I would never take that off and put like this up, right? You wouldn't want to do that. Good stuff. They built houses for real back then. Not we built houses in 6 months. So, but that's technology. That's the wave. So let me show you one other thing. What Nicola pointed out was real cool. She noticed that it was in the same square foot, right? And I would like y'all to take these are notes you want to have. You want to have basically plus or minus, 200, right? Plus or minus 200. You want to stay within a quarter mile of that subject property, meaning you want to stay in that subdivision, because we're going off on an appraiser's rule. When appraisers come and appraise your house, they're not there to get you a high price for you, right? That's truly not the case. They there for the bank, because the bank is about to loan on this money. They're going to eventually give someone a loan based off the repair of this house. So that appraiser is going to go off any houses in that neighborhood, what they are selling for. And if they can't find them within 3 months, 6 months, they go back a year. They can't find a good one in a year, they go back 2 years, they go back 3. And then they would basically add for appreciation. What they ever appreciated at, with that price, that good comparable from 3 years ago, they would add on appreciation and say, this is your ARV, right? So they'd rather go back in time rather than just go 2 miles down the road or cross major highways and all that stuff, because it'd be different valuations. Or if you're in a subdivision, I can't go from, this subdivision up to this other one, even though it's this same type of stuff, right? But it's a different name of building, a whole nother different type of it's just different type of development, subdivision. So you wouldn't do it. Sometimes you can get 3 properties, add them all up, divide them by 3, that can be your ARV. I typically don't do that a lot of times, right? But when you got a hard thing, you can use it as like an average, right? Because you'll see that you can do that to take 3 properties that look apples to apples, square feet plus or minus 200 of each other. If you get the 3, it's fine. If it's a 1-story, say 1-story, but sometimes you just only have a 2-story. Remember, sometimes that 1-story is worth more than that 2-story because of concrete, right? Because it takes more concrete. You're doing a 1-story and getting the same type of square footage. But you want to stay apples to apples, right? Because it's truly, and a person can say what a home is worth, right? Asterisk, because truly who really determines the price or sale of a home? Like who really does that? Do anybody know? Who really? The buyer. Man, 100% the buyer, the homeowner. That determines really the price of that property, right? If I don't want it at that price, if I don't want to, like, I don't care what it is. You can say, yeah, the house is sold looking like that, but nah, this house look like this, or it got this funny hill or whatever. I don't want that, right? So they truly determine the price, but this set price is what an appraiser is saying it should be worth. So it does make sense to say to try and get the number that you want from it like that. But truly, the end buyer, the family person sets that price. And the just being factual and real about it. I know we all good people here love each other, not no type of bad racist energy like that. But lately you've been seeing stories of appraisers being racist. Like that, there's many documents, there's many stuff coming out about that. They go in and just change stuff in their house and get a higher comparable. I mean, a higher appraiser. And they actually suing them. Like you can Google this stuff. So it's truly the praise is not there for you, and their numbers can be totally wrong. So you want to stay, okay. Also, say if a house is under 250,000, right? And your comparable is say you on the main part of this subdivision, or you're in the main front of this subdivision and you're close to that main road, right? It's nothing in between you that takes away you from that traffic. You will have to take $15,000 off that comparable because it's fronting that traffic. 10K, if it's backing it, it takes off 10. If you fronting it, like you facing it, and your house is facing that main road, you gotta take 15,000 off of it. Like if my comparable is in the back and I'm on the main, that house will sell more than mine because it's back in the back. The reason being is that when people pay more money for proximity, right? It's all location is the number one thing people buy houses for, right? It's great location, right? So, and it's their kids being safe. They don't want to hear traffic. They don't want their kids the ball bouncing into the road and it's, they got to run out, possibly hit, all of that stuff. So it actually devalues the house. And when a home is like 500K, it's like 20%. You just got to take 20% for that thing. So, and if it's on the interior street, but that home is on a major road, it's 20%. Same thing. If a house is under 250,000, it's 10K for a garage. Like say if I got a garage, the comparable got a garage, but my subject property don't, that takes $10,000 off of valuation. If it got a carport, if I have a carport, the seller has a carport, but the comparable have a garage, it's $5,000. That's truly how they evaluate these houses. And the same thing goes for a pool. If they have a pool and I don't, I take $10,000 off. So keep those things in mind when you're doing your comping. And it's truly subjective, like we did the other day, like we just did. I can sit here and play with this calculator all day. I can say 300,000 times 0.70. And then remember we had this thing the other day. Remember I said the other day that some buyers will buy, you just make sure you got it under that 0.6. If it ain't like you just need some type of cosmetic or whatever, they'll buy it at just 0.70, no repairs, and you just manage your assignment fee. So that can take it down to 200,000. That's the price that the lady was asking for, right? So say you got one that want 300,000, they want 0.70, and they want $10,000 off for repairs. Plus you got to take 10,000 off for your assignment fee. That brings it down to 190. Then you got some buyers, I can do this all day. They can say times, they'll buy it at 0.83. And then you just minus repairs of 10,000. Then you minus your fee, 15,000, and that buy it at 224, right? So all of those different ways of getting your maximum allowable offer, and everybody, maximum allowable offer, we know just means what's your maximum allowable offer you can offer to the seller in order to make whatever it is that you have placed in as your assignment fee. Oh, let me read this. I just seen this, man. Prime example, house in a great neighborhood on the MLS and comps at about 650K. The property was listed at 550K because it was dated, but my buddy got it for 500,000. But it also has no curb appeal. The house is worth whatever someone will pay. But yeah, great example. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to get off here. It's like a ton of stuff, activity happening. It's Friday, y'all. So yeah, perfect. That's it. It's truly its location, what's going on to buy it, what's the thoughts on it. It be factors coming into it, playing it. But when it comes to MAO, it's different ways that you can do it. You can do it from the 0.70 method. Like, let me put this on the screen. Hold on. Let me share that. I think it's called whiteboard. All right, perfect. So, text. Let me make this big. So you can say 300,000. And times 0.70. And what did that come up with? 200,000, 210, 300,000 times 0.70. Yeah, 210. Then you can minus 10,000 for your assignment fee. Remember, that's your money, what you would like to make. Don't mean you will make it, but that's what you would like to make, equals 200,000. That's one. Then you can do same thing, 300,000. That's something else right there. You can say times 0.70. Then you say minus 10,000 for repairs. For some reason, some of them be wanting that. Then you say minus, hold up, let me do this first. Let me do this calculation first. 210,000. I can say minus 10,000 for repairs. Then I can say minus 10,000 what I'd like to make, and that equals 190. Right? Then I can do the same thing with this one, 300,000, because there's some people buy like this. 300,000. And you can say times 0.83. Let me see what that come up to. 300,000 times 0.83, 249. Oh, this should be an equal sign, y'all. I'm pretty sure y'all knew that though. Let me do it for the people in the back though. And that equals 249. You minus 10,000, which is repairs. Then you minus another 10,000 for assignment fee. This is 0.83, y'all. And you can do this as a, I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna do like probably you're gonna see a ton of different more depending on your buyer. But this 0.83 represents 3% seller's agent when you have someone listing it, or you can do a dual agency. We'll get in it. Dual agency just means, I shouldn't say that too much. Dual agency just means that you have one agent representing you on both sides. You normally do that when you find an on-market property that you put a bid on, and that seller's agent, you pitch to them that they can also do your paperwork, so they get what they call dual representation. So instead of getting 3%, they end up getting, say, 5%. You wouldn't give them just a whole 6%, but you'll say either like 5 or 4%. So they get more money, and they're more inclined to give you a bid on that property because they're gonna make more commission. But in this example, the 0.83 is 100% of the purchase price is 300,000. So if I'm taking off 17%, that means 3% seller's agent when I go to list it, buyer's agent when somebody buy it, they bring their agent. You remember the seller pays for both sides of the agents, 1% closing costs, and 10% profit that the buyer would like to make. That equals that 83%. That comes down to 249. 10%, 10,000 in repairs, 239, minus 10,000 that I'd like to make, and that comes to 229. I hope I followed along right. But if not, y'all got it. 300,000 times 0.80, right? Something I even seen one yesterday. We were talking. He said 0.77. What do that 77 mean? I think that's just you. Just what I ain't argue with. Like what do that mean? You know what I mean? But okay. Say he's at 0.80, and then there's 300,000 times 0.80 equals 240, right? And they saying agent fees, and they want to make about 15, I don't know, 13%, 12, 11%, you know what I mean? So they just want more percentage. Then the same thing, minus 10,000. Shoot. And this was equal. I don't know why I got equal and plus signs right here. Y'all ain't saying nothing neither. Y'all just riding. I know that's right. Okay, so that's 240, 220. So I'm showing y'all different stuff, right? Because say if I get it locked up at this price for my EMAO, right? Say I get it locked up at 200 and she offered and the seller asked for it. But I know I can sell it for 210 on this formula. But in this case, I would have to have it at 190, right? In order to make 10,000, because the end buyer will want to buy it at 200,000, right? You got to sell it at 200,000. Because remember, right? It's super important. This is your MAO. Let me put this up here. Maximum allowable offer. MAO, right? That means this is what you are going to offer the seller. You are going to add on this $10,000 and offer that to the end buyer, which is the investor, the fix and flipper, the buy and hold, or whatever they're going to do with the property. This $10,000 represents your assignment fee. So if he says, I would like to buy this property at 195, and you got it locked up at 190, that means you only make $5,000 instead of 10. So don't be like, oh no, you're going up in arms. You say, okay, perfect. You don't say perfect. You go to your other buyer and see what they're asking for. If that's the highest, then okay, here you go. Just don't put them in a bidding war, Don't make them like, that's kind of what happened with this one property, I think it was last week. Yeah. I sent the information out, but also another one was sent to another buyer, right? The team just doing what they're supposed to do. And what happens is they had both contracts out. This one, of course, got accepted because it was higher, right? And this one was still like working on it, and it was sent the contract too, but it wasn't sent the title, but it caused a problem. You know what I mean? I try to create relationships with buyers, and that caused the problem. What did I just do? What did I just do? Okay, cool. All right. So if you say 195, perfect, just know you've made 5,000 at that formula. But what if you get it at 190? But this is the formula, you know that you can sell it for, what is this, 240, and then minus 10 is repairs, minus 10 is your assignment fee. So and it equals 220. So you get it at 230, he'll buy it at 230. This 0.80 guy buy it at 230. You just made $40,000 at this 190 instead of 10,000. Does that make sense? That's why it's like I just keep going and going and see who's going to sell what. You know what I mean? If I get it locked up at this price, it means at this 0.70 or this 0.90, I'm going to this buyer first, right? Because I want to see if he'll buy it at this. I ain't gonna go get this buyer right here first, right? Because I know I'm just gonna get 10. I'm gonna go up here so I can get 30. You know what I mean? That's how you get them high spreads like that. So that's how you get your maximum allowable offer. And that's how you do comparable sales. Hope that was super helpful. That makes sense to everybody? What target price formula do you go for first? I use the real one. I don't really typically do the 0.78. Okay, check this out. It's crazy. Oh, excuse me, y'all. It's crazy, right? Because say you in Cleveland, right? And it's a house that needs a ton of work. You can literally just take ARV and just say times 0.30 or 0.25. right? And that's your maximum level. I wouldn't even try all of this formula stuff, right? Because that means that for one, it's not a really high appreciating area. So if it needs a ton of repairs, like a full rehab, it's not going to be, a high profit margin. So you got to get it kind of low, either way you go. So you can't do the 0.70 method. It wouldn't make sense. You know what I mean? It would, but you're going to basically say 0.70 minus a ton of repairs. You know what I mean? You got to take the repairs all off of it and then put your assignment fee attached. But if you just get it at 0.25, that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I'm saying it because I got a real house like that right now, trying to like this, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's like a real I don't really do the 70. I don't. I look at like a real number, like that 0.80, or knowing the buyer may buy at this buy price, like a 0.8. If I know I need to get it at the point, if I can get it at the 0.70 minus that just makes it a good deal. But in this market, I haven't found people really going for that because they know their houses are selling higher. So they really know that's not a real good number. So I've been not really on that 0.70 right now. It done got dark, starting to get dark. I don't feel like getting cut the light on. I'm gonna cut that little green thing on. So yeah, I don't really use that method like that because it'll make you miss out on a ton of deals if you go too low, So, but everybody get deals from it though, different ways. So I wouldn't say don't try it, right? I would definitely always go for it because I do, right? But when I sell it, I look at which formula can possibly give me a more assignment fee. So I may go with a different buyer. It's just it. I'm gonna go to the buyer I know gonna buy more. If he say no to whatever, then I just go down the line. And sometimes I try to share, I just try to pick it too. I know who gonna buy it. You don't want to get to the thing to where you can't get money and that, you basically shoot yourself in the foot. You know what I mean? So I always think like that. Like make sure you can definitely get it assigned. Don't play games. Let me say it like that. People like to play games, and that's when you basically get in trouble. You don't get nothing coming out of it. It definitely don't be to your benefit. Because just like the sell and sell method said, sellers not here to hear you to end up saying yes. You know what I mean? They here to be like you lose and they can go to somebody else. Right? That's real. That's why I recommend y'all really listen to that book. Just like sometimes you get a $1,000 assignment fee. My first assignment fee was $1,000. Right? And guess what happened? I was happy, but at the end of the day, I know where I messed up. Remember, I used to do stuff and find a little bit of information out and jump in. That's what I did. That's how I learned. You know what I mean? Y'all is skipping over a huge curve. You jumping over all of this stuff just by being here these weeks. Trust me, that you gonna be good. So I made a mistake and reached out. I found out when I was talking to buyers, he was like, yeah, that property is in this area and that property is in this area. Meaning it was literally right around the street, but it was in Memphis, y'all. So Memphis, you can be on a good street here and go a couple blocks and it turned into something different. And it was a hood house. I didn't see that in on Prop Street, how it got property details. I didn't even look in all of that. I didn't know none of that. I was just looking at something, I'm gone. So instead of me making 10,000, I ended up making, I think it was $1,000, like $1,200, something like that. But it was pretty cool because what that done for me was like, yo, it's real. That's the only thing I needed to know. Oh, it's a proof of concept. This stuff worked. I've never been in Memphis, and I just basically made money from that. And I could have made 16,000, but the buyer that was going to get it, I was selling to somebody else for 20, and they backed out. So that buyer walked away too. So I was like, oh shoot, I just want to get rid of it. I was like tired, and I just got it assigned. I never forget that deal. So escrow, I do want to tell y'all escrow. Escrow is basically like if you make a bet, if me and Manny make a bet, jail gonna hold the money. Jail is escrow. So if I get upset because I lose, I can't just walk away with the money. Escrow is going to basically be the title company who's hold the money, do all the run the title, make sure at the end, everybody get their split and everybody's happy, right? You can't run off with that check. Once you want in your contract to say you have a non-refundable earnest money deposit, meaning that if they choose to back out, the end buyer, for whatever reason, it don't matter. Once they put their EMD in, they locked in, right? Me, on the other hand, on our contracts, we got a 15-day period or 30-day or even 45-day inspection period that's saying at any point we can cancel the contract and get our EMD back, but not the case for the end buyer. So make sure in your contracts it says that. So I'm trying to run through these. I got some notes right here. But no, though, and the one thing I want to impart on y'all, and like I said, I won't get too deep into this stuff, is that you can always, please, and I'm imploring y'all, do not try to do this stuff on your own if you don't have to. Even myself, I don't have to, but let me show you something. Let me just show this one thing, right? I'm gonna show you, I think I got both of them. Oh, this ain't it. That's my Slack channel. Shoot, it's crazy. They were just messing me. But look at this, y'all. Check this out. This is one side, right? You see my name, right? But check this one out. This is another one, right? I have 2 REI replies for 2 types of businesses, right? So why would I want to hoard that? You feel what I'm saying? If I'm trying to, for one, I'm trying to make the team good. It's always putting them before me. But it's also I'm scaling out in all these different places. Why would I not send stuff to people or do this or have my team do this and this? Because I got an end goal, even though I don't know what this is. It's probably in conversations. Yeah, so you can see REI reply, oh, shoot, pretty dope. We just went over the free text.
Chad, we are looking at your Slack.
You see my Slack? Oh, I know why. Because I shared Slack instead of this. Thank you, Suji. Y'all wasn't gonna even tell me that. Y'all were trying to get in my business. That's what you were trying to do. They weren't gonna even tell me, Suji. It wasn't nothing on there though. Y'all can see that. I'll show you that. I'm gonna show you that because that's something I want to show you, matter of fact, at one point. It's different tools I use. I don't want to show you that. That's my PowerPoint. I had somebody make a PowerPoint, y'all. I've been editing for days because I don't know what they did. Can y'all see my screen? Can y'all see that? Perfect. So you see, this is one side of REI reply. One, right? Well, if you click here, it's another one, right? 2 separate accounts. You feel what I'm saying? So just don't get to the thing of, like, yo, I'm gonna do this thing on my own. It's this, that, and the third. Really, trust me. You're gonna basically, I don't know. Everybody different than me. I just think different. You know what I mean? But truly, and one thing I love about Arizona, right? I haven't seen this nowhere else. And I've been in different markets. I'm talking to different people, visit a ton of different places when they come to the real estate. They collaborate on a whole nother level. I'm talking about high level people. I say certain names, you'll know them because they considered, I guess, influencers. Or if you don't know them, you see their IG and you'll realize they somebody like this is doing it over there, like they high level. Them jokers collaborate, like everything. Everything is totally different. Well, you can hear conversation people here, and that gets stuck on one property, try to hold it to their chest. Ryan's Island is, oh, Ryan is super cool, bro. That's a whole nother conversation I can talk about. That's one person I would say on this thing, and probably, and now because I'm not affiliated in terms of like no mentorship or nothing like that. He's just somebody that's young and really getting it and really getting to it. But that joke is super collaborative. I promise. I was just on the phone with him. I'm just on the phone with him last night actually, and other day some stuff. I even posted him. We was on a Zoom together the other day too. But Ryan is super cool. But Ryan is just one because he really just he just won. Let me say that. The ones that's high level, they all in the same thing. They say, yo, this is your money, guy. This is the one that does hard money. This is agents. This is, and they be pointing, they just come in. They share information. Here it ain't like that. Like literally, I done had conversations with people and they be super close to the chest. You know what I mean? Yeah, right here, realtor, definitely. But they hold stuff close to the chest, and what that does is just push you on the island. You know what I mean? I'm more super, I always think collaboration and trying to JV because it's about ideas you can share, you can get more reach, you can bring more people in, and you can create this whole effect by doing that. And that's something I'm working on here. That's one of my goals for this year is basically create that what I know in Arizona, what I experienced in these other, well, Arizona is like, to me, like the mecca when it comes to this investing space. They got software people there, everything is literally right there in these areas. So, but I want to impart that on y'all. Like truly just think collaboration. You got people, like a few of y'all is in my market, even Lisa's, chases out Lisa's in New York. But me and Lisa been working on deals, trying to get her stuff, right? So we don't have that mind state, you know what I mean? It just don't have it. Like she literally reach out, I'm like, yo, what you? And I don't even be thinking about all this like splits. She'll be like, no, I gotta get you something. Cause I'm like, whatever. Cause it's just me trying to whatever, but it creates a synergy of just helping out though. So you want to compensate and stuff like that, but don't think in terms of one off, right? You want to do good stuff so you can always keep it reciprocating it. So don't get into the attitude of just on the island. Let me say it like that. I think that's one of the most important things. Even Tyrone, right? Me and Tyrone haven't completed one yet, but he has sent me stuff and I try to work on it for him. He one that I can say in here that has that mindset of collaboration over competition. Some things he can do himself, some things he don't want to do. Tanisha, I mean, y'all see Tanisha just on, she different, totally. You know, so everybody I'm just important. I'm hoping that's one of my main things is create a community of what we really, really give and not try to think that just because you got it close to your chest, that this person isn't gonna get what they got coming. You know what I mean? That just knocks you out of your blessings, your ability to affect change. So let's keep that spirit in mind. I gotta try to jump off here. I literally got 5 minutes. I meant to drop off at least 40 because I have a business thing and I think I definitely have a business thing. So, and it's getting close to business hour. Hopefully at 6, it's on Friday. It's kind of open a little later. But I have to jump off of there and attend to these things. But Monday, we're gonna get, the thing I wanted to tell y'all, and I'm gonna stop this thing.